Hello everyone, ZMR99 here, and welcome back for another episode. Today we have a couple terraforming projects. Well, one terraforming project in particular that I want to focus on, and that is creating our channel. So we've been talking about this for a little bit, but I made a couple of more maps, and I want to kind of clear this out and make ourselves a little bit wider of a channel connecting these two large areas of water. Um, as as you can see up here, I added an extra map there. I added an extra map here, just so that we can see more of the totality of where we're working. This does go all the way to the end of the road. That's the current end where the road is at. So I am actually thinking of making another or a branch off the road to go to the village over land. I feel like that would be a kind of cool thing to do. Obviously not over here because this would be horrible land to try and build a road over. So I feel like building a road probably going along back there to the village would kind of be cool. It'd be a cool touch. I don't know if it wouldn't maybe be worth it necessarily, but it would be a cool touch. So we might do it at some point. But our little area of work is going to be over there, and I think we'll leave the map up here, but we'll be able to just pull it off, pick it up, and it should be within range enough to update on its own as we're digging. But I believe I want it to kind of be like this size here, so behind these two trees. Definitely our enchantments of the Respiration 3 is definitely going to be a huge thing. Did I have... and I have Depth Strider 3 on my boots. So those are both going to come in handy a lot today, for sure. We're also going to make use of a 119 feature, which I haven't used yet. And that is a boat with a chest. Because that is the thing. So we're going to use it. Because it was something that I definitely wanted in the game for a long time, and they finally added it. So I'm going to make good use of it. I guess I can craft torches in my inventory. Just want to have a few with me. And this boat is mainly for just being able to move, items and stuff back. Because we're clearing land, we're not putting land down. So we're probably going to generate quite a bit of resource. Oh, there's a fox out here that's hunting all the salmon. I didn't realize that they would hunt the salmon, but that's kind of cool, I think. So we're right here. I want to jump out of the boat. These are the two trees. So if I want to just like make kind of a grade, if you will, just kind of carve a line across the sand, the terrain. This is kind of the one I'm going for. We do not have efficiency on this shovel, so that's why it's feeling so slow, because it is so slow. So this is where we'll take it for the time being. And I think I'm just gonna like dig it like straight out like this and not really like worry about smoothing it out. We'll take more out to smooth it, but I want to get the bulk of the work done. Is kind of where I'm going with this project so far. Because terraforming has a couple different phases. Obviously, the first phase is to do the like planning, which we did. I don't think my plan's like as good as it could be, but it's the plan that I have. and I don't really know exactly what I want either. So, like, as far as a specific idea. But we got the plan section, and then now it's the big clearing, right? Getting it roughly, like very roughly, how we want it to be. And then we'll be able to look at it from the map again and see, okay, I want to clear out more land here. Yeah, maybe put some back here. So I'll clear this out and clear it out to a depth that I think is good. And then we will see what it looks like after that. Alright, so we're back inside real quick, but that's because I decided I wanted to make a conduit. I have one heart of the city. We might end up making another conduit. But for the time being, we'll try just the one. And I want to put it out here. I actually don't know the range on these, so we probably will end up making another one eventually. But the reason I want to put it out here is so that I'll be able to kind of operate without, like, when I'm digging the channel out and stuff, without having to worry about dying. Or not dying, but it should make it easier to operate, basically. So there's that. And then it should be something like this pattern here that you put the prismarine in. There we go. So now I shouldn't lose any air, and I should have, well, the effect is called conduit power, but I can see, right? That's a big deal. I don't have to worry about breathing. That's all taken care of. And I get that effect all the way out here still? Okay, this is good. This is good range. The conduit by itself works, but the more prismarine you have in that configuration makes it stronger. At least that's my understanding of it. I don't really know much about them. I just know that they are there. And it looks like I have a good range. But what this also... Okay, so that's beyond its range there. I can put another one kind of down here as well, I think. Which would be, again, pretty beneficial to have on this side. Oh, man. Yeah. So it'd be pretty beneficial to have down here too. So let's do that. What is there? Star Trek found an ancient city thing, and is currently being murderized by or playing with a warden. So yeah. Now let's go back to Star Trek's shop, right? We're going to go, we need 8 Nautilus shells, so already bought 8. One. Buying one of those. Go home. We're going to craft it up like so. And jump in the water, and boom, we can see a little better under here, even though it still's nighttime. Looks like it's day, basically, and that's true at any depth. So yeah, these are really nice to have. I definitely should have invested earlier in this project into this, but that's another part of the reason why I wanted to do it now is because I could tell we're still needing it quite severely because it's going to if I stop sprinting. Nope, that didn't stop me. Off sprint. Go. It should help me out. Oh, great. I keep getting more and more of this like ravine that's covered in sand, like sinking in. So, yeah. But what I should be able to do is actually dig faster. I'm thinking it gives the effect of aqua affinity, and I would be correct in thinking that. Okay. So my helmet doesn't have aqua affinity on it. That's the one last thing that it doesn't have that would make this easier. But having the conduits here, because the conduits are easier to get than the enchantment, amazingly enough, because none of us have librarians. Start doing that. Because none of us have librarians for getting that enchant yet. So this is literally the next best thing, and it's actually a pretty good thing, so I'm not going to complain. Anyways, I just want to show you guys that because that's a pretty big update. Some of you might think the Warden's a bigger update. Maybe it is, and it is kind of a 1.19 thing. This is the first time I've ever used conduits, and it's been how many updates since they were introduced to the game? But yeah, you can also kind of see how the channel here is shaping up to be. It's not super wide, and it's not super deep yet either. And that is a little bit concerning. I might have to shave off a little more from the sides. But if I were to leave it as is, it looks pretty convincing, I think. Pretty convincing, so pretty happy with it so far. Also, I like how the it looks like the light effect from the conduit power isn't instant. It's like fading in. If you've kind of noticed that too. But let's see. In theory, this zombie should take damage over time. Let's find out. We're testing here. We're testing the zombies. Okay, maybe the zombies won't, but I think the drowned should? Or maybe they have to be in line of sight of this thing too. Speaking of which, we actually need to dig this out a little bit, which makes me feel like I should have put that down a couple more blocks. Let's see, maybe they have to be line of sight. I don't know, maybe they don't take damage from it. I thought that they would. Okay, I guess they don't. That's okay, though. The benefits that it gives are still well worth it, even if it's not actually going to kill them. And we do need to actually clear out this as well, which I had forgotten about doing. That's why I'm thinking I might actually want to put that conduit lower. But it's okay. Or maybe it was guardians who take damage. I don't know. I thought that there was something that takes damage from it. But that also could have been a mod, because I used to play a lot of modded back whenever this came out. So I could be mixing a modded thing in with a vanilla thing. So that's definitely possible. But it still is well worth the cost, in my opinion. So I'm going to dig this down one more layer, so that 55 is a passable layer. I think that is reasonable given how high out the water the ships would be, I guess. Especially that smaller one, but you know, that'll give us kind of a standard to dig out any other areas too as well, which is going to be useful. So that would give, let's see if the bottom clear, so that would be 9 blocks of depth, so 9 meters of depth, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that isn't actually horrible. I do kind of wish I had the conduit sooner, because this is way faster than it was going. Because of the aqua affinity effect that it has. One more down here, but I will continue working away at this. And man, it is a little time consuming, but it is definitely looking. All right, we're back, and it actually it looks pretty natural from this angle. Not gonna lie, like that is a little bit flatter at the bottom than it naturally would be, but I think that makes sense, and I want to leave it because that does give the impression that, oh, this is actually a dugout channel, right? And I don't want to hide that fact, because this dredging, like what this here would be called, where I deepened this area a little bit, and you know, there, of course, here, this would be considered a little bit more than just dredging, but those are very common real world things to do. Dredging is basically you take a giant bucket, a scoop if you will, and drag it along the bottom of the water. At least that's one way of doing it. Obviously, you can also just use a bucket, like an excavator arm, something like that, to dredge as well. So, you know, there's different ways of doing it, obviously, as with many things, but it certainly looks like a much more fitting passage either way. As far as for ships go, I haven't updated the maps yet, so we're going to update the maps. And let's see, we need that one, and that one, and that one. Okay. And obviously they pop up right into my right at the start. So let's see. This is going to be hard to actually like visualize the change, right? Because it's not going to just pop in. Be different. Actually, this one might not be that different. It's going to be in the top left corner, by the way. Anything that is different on this map? Yeah, I think I saw a little bit of change there. But yeah, there's not too much change, but there is a little bit. Obviously, we have the little crops right there, little plus sign, right in front of my character. That is our this thing. If I remember what it's called. All right, so let's go to our next map. So this one. You can see, obviously it updates really fast, but there's the the fact that it's all like flat now, and it's the checkers instead of the, checkered dark and light instead of just all being light. And that's basically the depth that we wanted at for the ships, right where it's there. So it doesn't look like it's like super deep, right? But you can tell it'd be like on a map note as like it's deep enough for a ship. Just might want to go at high tide or something, or if you have a deep ship, you go at high tide kind of a thing, right? And then again, here we have our little channel. That's all at that same height down the middle, which is awesome. I think it's awesome. Here, obviously, it narrows up a bit. This is the one spot where I'm like, well, maybe I want to make this a little bit wider, but I think it's wide enough, especially if you know what you're doing really well. You could make it through there, but I could make it a little bit more of a straight shot at least, right? And then also over here I changed it a little bit. So just clear it out a little bit here to help bring the depth down a little bit more. And then out here, I don't really have to worry about that. This is all pretty deep as is. So yeah, but now we have a nice little, technically still like a natural waterway, but it has been, shaped a little bit more so that it's better for allowing ships through. And then just like that, what used to be a tiny little like snippet that would go like right there and like choke you right up to the side is now something that it looks like you'd actually put a boat, like a okay sized boat through. Yeah. Then the other thing about that depth is like a lot of this out here is that same depth, so that's why I was like, okay, it's probably okay out here. How is that depth? Just looking at the map and really observing the depth. Obviously out here we're looking pretty good. Near where this boat wreck is, it looks like it's a little bit shallower there, but that makes sense, right? If the boat is there and on the top of the water still, probably hit something there. Right here, we might want to take like the sandbar here and remove it. Just dig it out a block or two so that you have, the nice deep ravine to sail over. Down here looks okay. That looks like it gets deeper again at the bottom. Maybe it doesn't, but we can just slowly expand this map out and get to where we want to go. Again, nice deep harbor there. Out here is going to be a lot of work because this is a spot where I wanted to build a lot more docks and things. And look at how shallow that is. Like, this is a really shallow shelf here. It's literally like a block deep. If we go out there, I haven't even emptied the boat yet. I really am appreciative of this boat chest thing, by the way. It's great. Nice to be able to dump all the resources in there. I think I'm gonna have to trash the dirt though, or sell it or something. I don't know why I want to sell dirt, but dirt's not actually a horrible thing to sell. But as you can see, it's like this shelf, and this is literally what this would be called if it were like in the ocean or something. It's a shelf because this is the top of the shelf. This is the side of the shelf. Basically an underwater cliff. Is kind of what a shelf is. So usually a shelf is specifically like near a beach or something like that. So it's that first drop off is where the edge of the shelf is. But that's definitely a thing here. But if this shelf were removed, this would be a perfect spot to put ships. Then if we want to come up here, this would also be a pretty good spot for it as well. But this would be a lot more digging than taking that area out there and doing it. Or even taking advantage of right here, putting a dock like right here, taking advantage of this already deep spot, and then just cutting out that. So it depends, like how industrial do we want to make this port, right? Like, are we going to spend a ton of time removing the soil, the sand and stuff from here to make a big port? Or are we just going to take the little spots that we got, like right here, we can just cut that out and make it really nice and easy, but we'll not be able to accommodate a huge ship. Out here, it'd be easier to make something to accommodate a big ship because obviously, big deep spot already, not that far away from the shore, and you have the shelf to put the pier on too. So, that might be a good spot to go as well. Out here would not be the worst, but then you're interrupting boat traffic a little bit, right? But this wouldn't be a horrible spot. It's a lot to think about, though, is the thing. And I haven't really done this before, a naval kind of design. So for a base, but I think the next thing that we want to do, because this was a terraforming video, I want to do another build, right? We got this big road, and I want to do another build, and I'm honestly thinking about doing a tree farm. That would take up a lot of space, and we can build it right up there, kind of away a little bit, and then make and a branch off the road maybe to go out there. But that's just my thought. We're gonna call that a day though. I bought the stuff for that from Star Trek Shops. I don't remember if I said that or not. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Saw a little bit of how I do underwater terraforming, which is actually the first time I've ever done it. So if you have any tips or tricks, please let me know. And I will see you all in the next episode. So thank you for watching, and bye.